Okay, well, welcome everyone to the ICA. Thank you all for coming tonight. I'm director of the Education Curators here, and you're on a gallery tour of the Looks exhibitions led by artist Chloe Cooper. Looks is a group show which comprises 5 artists. So I'm going to name them: Juliette Bonneviot, Andrea Crespo, Morag Keil, Tsang and Stewart Uoo. And as a whole, the show reflects on how artists today investigate how mass digital culture offers new ways to produce, consume, and communicate with itself. I shall pass it to Chloe, but just to mention 2 works that in the upper gallery have stroke writing just as well.
Okay. Hi everybody, it's me, your Prime Minister, David Cameron. Thanks so much for coming tonight. I know we all had places to be, things to do, but I just realised that I just had to come because I am so passionate about how mass digital culture informs how identity is constructed, particularly in relation to gender and sexuality. There was, nowhere else I could be. It's just so fitting. I realise that I'm here tonight on one of the most important nights of my political career. You probably heard me talking about how mass digital culture informs how identity is constructed, particularly in relation to gender and sexuality, during the television debates. And maybe about how I've been increasing funding for public services who are working with victims of gender and sexuality-based hate crime, how I've been increasing unemployment benefits for people who've been pushed out of work due to gender and sexuality-based discrimination, and how I've been welcoming with open arms asylum seekers into the country if they've been persecuted due to their sexuality or gender identity. David, lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, intersex, queer rights, Cameron they call me, or LGBTIQ rights, Dave for short. People are like, oh, that LGBTIQ rights Dave, he's a nightmare, isn't he? Always shoehorning in issues about lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, intersex and queer rights into every policy we try and push through, with his vision of a world free from homophobia, biphobia and transphobia. George will be like, hey, LGBTIQ rights Dave, when are you going to start, maybe talking about the deficit a little bit more, maybe chatting a little bit about hard-working families. But no, I can't hear him because I'm already on the phone to Desay Escobar. Now, if you don't know Desay, you'll notice in your brochure, like the one you've got there, that she is an influential member of New York's club, music, art and fashion scene, okay? And of course, she was thrilled to speak with me. So I said, Desay, nightlife is one of your platforms. You're always out and about, on the rage. As someone who identifies as transgender, can you tell us, what does visibility mean to you? Okay, yeah. So she's saying that, visibility is something that's very important when you're transgender, because she tries to show that she's out there in the world, that she's trans and she's doing it, and that people need to be able to see her, okay, because they can see she's doing normal everyday things just like normal women. And she just thinks that's a really key part of her identity. Okay, so I'm like, oh, to say that's fantastic news to hear that what we're doing here is really making a difference globally, that our policies are getting people out of their homes and onto the streets. Oh, okay, I thought that's what you wanted. Right. Oh my God, wait a minute. Just so you'll never guess what I've just seen. No, not that, no. No, it's a giant vine. A giant vine. Yeah? No. Not like on a giant phone. It's on the wall. Yeah. Yeah, it is repeating, yeah. But it's like longer than 6 seconds, but I think that's because it's bigger. Yeah? Yeah, I know, I love vines as well. Oh my gosh. Okay, come on everyone, let's go. I love a vine. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, because I'm on Facebook, just like you, I know that this is a human leg. And because I'm on Twitter, just like you, I know that Amy Winehouse is dead. And because every now and again I go on Tumblr and the tattoo section of DeviantArt, just like you, I know that some people use tattoos to express their identity, just like Amy Winehouse, who used to have a tattoo just like this, except it wasn't as squiggly and as funny looking as this, and it said girl at the top more clearly than this, and it was on her arm, not on her leg like this. And because I'm just like you, when I became Prime Minister, I decided that maybe I should get a tattoo, just to remind myself what it feels like to come from somewhere and like stand for something. There it is. Okay. I think like Pamela Anderson was a massive influence for me when I was growing up, and I think like the first time I watched Barbed Wire was definitely the moment when I realised that I had a passion for how identity is constructed, particularly in relation to gender and sexuality. I also believe that people should be free to express themselves, either by wearing like zebra print high-heeled shoes or by dressing normally, just like you, in your low-slung boyfriend jeans and your vest top in a neutral shade. I think like this, I guess the sunglasses and the hat are maybe appropriate for kind of festival wear. What I really admire though about what you've done here with this outfit is how you've kept pattern to a minimum, because you know it can get a bit busy, can't it? It can get a little bit too much. Admittedly, the pattern on this scarf does seem to be made up of CND logos, which makes me feel a little bit uneasy. To be honest with you, I wouldn't have paired the scarf with the CND necklace there. I'd have probably mixed it up a bit. I might have put a yin-yang pendant on there, or maybe used like a rasta leaf design, because actually wanting nuclear disarmament, that's not normal. I'd actually argue that that's anti-LGBTIQ rights, because you know what Russia's like. Right, okay, so we're actually going to have to leave LGBTIQ Dave there, I'm afraid, because it's time for us to go back in time. Back to March 2008, before his heady reign, when we had a Labour government and Gordon Brown was Prime Minister. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to just take a couple of minutes to have a look around the world of March 2008, have a really nice read, and then I'm going to ask you to hop on with me and take your seat in history. So just have a really good look. Cool. Okay, are we ready then to hop into March 2008? You don't have to jump with me, but I'm going to jump apparently. Cool, okay, so I recommend the beach scene. If you just want to take a seat in history there, that would be fantastic. Brilliant, if you want to take a seat there, I'm going to go around here. Oh, That's great. That's good, yeah, you might want to... You're going to be super close to a bit in a minute, which is fine if you're happy with it. Or otherwise you can go there. That's cool, with Dude Squad over there. It's a good place to sit. Cool, fantastic. Okay, so here we are then in March 2008. It's so weird here, isn't it? So alien, with these apparently free people performing these incredibly narrow and essentialist gender roles without apparently any opportunity to live outside of them. I'm thinking personally, you know, thank God we live in a more progressive society now in 2015. We've obviously got social media to thank for that, because, you know, in 2008, Twitter, not as powerful as in 2015. Instagram wasn't even invented, if you can imagine that. And I mean, we were actually going to do a kind of like analysis of what it says here, but I'm actually finding it so difficult to decipher this really peculiar, these kind of peculiar power dynamics. I kind of wish that we had someone to help us, maybe a historian, maybe someone like Mary Beard, that filthy old slut, that evil bitch, that massive vagina face, that ignorant cunt with a hairy clunge. Just help us with some of the power dynamics in these peculiar gender relationships. Because believe it or not, before we sorted it all out, before everyday feminism and no more page 3 and Beyonce, it was all guy chat, guy chat, guy chat, guy chat. I'm not sure if you've met Preston. Some of you may have done. Preston's, wow, what a catch. Okay, so Preston, he's 20 years old from somewhere in Texas. And in answer to the question, oh, can I just have a look under there? Thanks so much. On spring break, are you looking for a fling or the real thing? Preston replied, I'd probably see where it went, but I don't think I'd have very much respect for a girl who was my spring break fling. That's not the type of girl I want to be my girlfriend. Okay. And at this point, a fourth wave feminist from 2015 might sarcastically reply, ooh, yeah, Preston, girls who want your girlfriend. I mean, seriously, how can anyone admire someone who does something with them without expressly entering into a formal agreement where they become that thing for you to do that to them? Like, I can't understand it either. I feel like it's as if like the audacity of a girl to think that they could be your girlfriend after being a girl who isn't your girlfriend, as if they're not defined by you, as if maybe they have their own desires, their own like goals, their own kind of pathways of exploration in life. But I mean, you obviously think it's sick, Preston, and you must be right, because these 12-year-old, 17-year-old, 22-year-old, 32-year-old girls can't share their faces with us. They can't show us their faces as they share their fun, fearless confessions in this lifestyle magazine for young women. But we get to see your smiley face, don't we, Preston? Those cheeky chops. Because there's absolutely nothing wrong in what you're doing here. You're playing your role perfectly, openly regulating young women, typifying them into good and bad, proving to them that nothing good comes from being slutty, when actually you can do whatever you want, can't you, Preston? And you can go wherever you want, even into the pages of this lifestyle magazine for young women. In fact, you're actually invited into them to share your distinguished opinion. And for those reasons, Preston, do excuse me as I sit on your face. What's that, Preston? What am I doing? Let me explain. So, Preston, what I'm trying to do here is metaphorically kind of prioritise the voice of a sexuality that isn't yours. It's okay, it's just for a minute, it's just for a minute. So maybe a sexuality that isn't like a male sexuality, you know, how about like a female homosexuality? Or actually even better, how about non-binary gender fluid sexuality? We could try that for a moment, couldn't we? You know, just to see how it feels, just to try it out. What's that, Preston? Oh, okay, Preston's got a question for us. Yeah. Okay, it's a question about cultural and structural realities. Okay, so Preston wants to know if we encourage people to like live within gender roles that aren't conventional, that don't perpetuate and reflect existing problematic cultural and structural realities, won't that make everything really overcomplicated? And Preston, you're onto something there, I must admit, because overcomplicating things never feels good, does it? I mean, just look at Rihanna. She's overcomplicated, isn't she? She's difficult to claim. I bet it keeps you up all night, doesn't it, Preston? Tossing and turning. Is Rihanna pro-queer feminist, or is she demeaning and objectifying women by casting them in the role of the whore? Is my idea of feminism totally racialised anyway? Wait a minute, when I said that thing about the whore, was I coming from a whore-phobic perspective? Should I totally discount my opinion? It's a nightmare, isn't it, Preston? And Preston, I'm so sorry, because, I mean, look what Rihanna's done to us now. She's ruined this very fragile illusion that we're actually in March 2008 because she's making us to refer to things that she hasn't even done yet. So I'm sorry, Preston, we're going to have to overcomplicate the carpet. We're going to have to use this not as a destination, but as a vehicle now to take us not back to May 2015, but instead to November 2013. So please, can everyone stand up? And can you come and sit in a kind of horseshoe shape like this? That's brilliant. Over, sideways, on the carpet still, as I sing. Over, sideways and under on a magic carpet ride. I need you to come a bit closer as well. A bit closer, so you can sit on the carpet, 'cause it's nice to sit on the carpet, isn't it? Brilliant. Fantastic. Great. And, okay, so I just want to check, can everyone see this? Yeah? Just to check that it's worked, our time travelling? Yeah, fantastic. Okay, and that's really important because this isn't just a mannequin, okay? This is a site of conflict. And I'm not just me, I'm Venus X, okay? Venus X is the co-founder of Ghetto Gothic, which is an underground party socio-political movement based on freedom of expression. And you're not just you are a sassy, streetwise music journalist called Marissa G. Muller. Do you want to just come up here? Thanks, Marissa. Brilliant. Okay, if you just want to sit here. That's great. You write for the Fader magazine, yeah? I know you do, in New York. It's really great to work somewhere that you like, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay, so, and you're not just you, okay? You're a multi-million selling recording artist, Rihanna. Okay? Just take a moment just to let that sink in. It's bigger than what we've got to deal with. Yeah. And once you think you've got that, I'd like you to sing, please, with a voice that's at once soulful, commanding and vulnerable. Oh Nana, what's my name? Oh Nana, what's my name? Okay, so if you just want to do that together whenever you're ready. No, Brianna? What do you reckon?
Really good.
Really good, hey? Okay. Really good review. 5 stars?
Yeah.
Okay. 6 out of 5, yeah. Okay, wicked. So I think we can safely reply that your name is Rihanna, so that's great. So just as a quick recap, okay, site of conflict, Rihanna, Marissa G. Muller, music journalist, Venus X, co-founder of Ghetto Gothic, which is this series of like underground parties / social political movement. Okay, So, Marissa, you are interviewing me, Venus X, in November 2013, because Rihanna has adopted my term, ghetto gothic, as her own ghetto goth hashtag, pairing it with images of her hashtag ghetto goth look. Band t-shirt, nose piercing, black nail varnish, black lipstick, like studded choker, okay? Without crediting its ghetto gothic origins. Okay, so that's the situation. So Marissa, here's your questions. Just the orange bits.
Thanks very much.
Wicked. Okay, so just blow us away, I guess. Okay. Question 1, please.
Venus X.
Yeah.
How would you define ghetto gothic?
Did everyone hear that? Can you say it again?
Yeah. Venus X, how would you define ghetto gothic?
Amazing. Great question, Marissa. Ghetto gothic is a lifestyle influenced by everything I saw growing up. So from like Missy Elliott to Aaliyah, Kurt Cobain and Vivienne Westwood, it's a combination of what people consider to be very white and very black, not because it's fashion forward, but because that's the life we're living. When I came up with the name, I was dressed as if I was going to an anarchist house party, but I'm Latina, and I was walking through Uptown, which is where I'm from, which is the ghetto, and there I'm the goth.
Okay. How do you feel about street style's rise in mainstream fashion?
I think it's great that fashion is like getting more in tune with the urban, practical, people of colour aesthetic. But I think it sucks that there's no space for the people who come up with it to be involved. I think it's kind of like, I kind of feel that Rihanna has no right to use the hashtag without, she doesn't come to the parties and she has no political reference point. Yeah? Ghetto Gothic is incredibly political.
Why do you think Rihanna is using the term?
Yeah, like Rihanna's stylist has been coming to our parties for a long time. And you know, Rihanna's an Instagram freak. She has to post new posts like all the time, every day and everything. And so she runs out of ideas. Like, it would be great to work with Rihanna. Like, it would be totally fantastic if she wanted to come down and she was saying to everyone like, oh, I'm gonna premiere my Ghetto Goth video at Ghetto Gothic tonight. But, you know, she's too much of a bitch to do that. I saw her the other day at an Alexander Wang show, and she gave me the nastiest attitude. I was like, since you want to hashtag about it so much, Rihanna, why don't you come to, you know, one of the nights? You'll never guess what she said. She said, I'll think about it. Okay? I just want to hear that back. Just, let's hear it back.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, but nastier than that. Try again, just try again.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, and as she said it, she rolled her eyes. So just do that for me, just do that for me.
I'll think about it.
Exactly, just like that.
Ouch. If Rihanna gave you a shout out to Ghetto Gothic, would you feel differently?
Yeah, of course. But I mean, all she does is she just like posts inflammatory like photos and comments and stuff. And if I dare to say anything, her fans just call me these crazy names. They say I'm trying to get shine off of Rihanna. And it's just like Rihanna is a parasite, okay? That's all pop stars are these days. They don't participate in culture other than creating these like vapid religious experiences for people. And at the end of the day, like, I think if Rihanna is like using the term without referencing the culture, that's no different from any other type of appropriation that's happening in like the music industry or fashion or art. She doesn't seem to understand that it's not just about clothes, it's like my life, okay? So my brother runs the door, my sister like works like doing the guest list, my girlfriend DJs, my best friend bartends, my close friend like does other things as well that I can't like think about right now. And and you know, I'm 27, like I'm not just gonna just turn around one day and be like, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm ghetto goth until I die. And really, you know, at the end of the day, Rihanna doesn't know what the fuck is going on in the world. And she doesn't care. She calls her fans her navy, even though the US government is like killing people overseas every day. And these are innocent people as well. So I say to Rihanna, like, you know, just have a think about the issues. Use all your power and your money for good. What now? Another hashtag? Great. That's not going to change the world.
Thanks for your sex.
Thanks, Marissa.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to get something out of the cupboard. Can you hold the fort for a minute? Can you see how I just read this and this? Now can you say this?
Yes, that would be my pleasure, except I'm not Marissa anymore. I'm Max Hart.
Yeah.
My real name.
You're not.
And you're not Rihanna anymore.
And then gesture towards all of them to try and get them to say their names. You're.
And you're. And you are.
Mm-hmm. Keep it going. Keep it going. You got this.
And you're.
Hey. Everyone's in a sharing mood, which is great for what we've got coming up next. So if you just want to follow me. Thanks, Marissa. Thanks, Max. Okay. Okay, so as any amazing Instagram marketing executive like myself might tell you, Instagram is a fast, fun and beautiful way to share your life with your friends and family. Your life of selfies, the business, shoes, light, BMX, trees, fear, fuck, life's too short, tonight love, Adidas, it's a shame, power, water, global women's strike, like news coverage, cute things, simple life, cats, labyrinth, books, Borges, hashtags, it'll be a great day when, hello boys. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, if you don't share your life, you haven't got a life. And that means that all the things that you think you've done haven't actually happened. Okay. Because like sometimes we have to think a little bit more, not about the people we're actually with, but the people who are online, who we know virtually, okay? It's kind of like when you're doing a performative tour, because it's really great that all these people have actually come down here and, you know, they look fantastic in the background and stuff, but you always need to think about sharing that online, don't you? With the people who couldn't be asked to come down, but who are going to watch it in bed on their laptops. Yeah, cool. So, we believe that it's really important to translate bodily lived experience into data. And I'm going to show you today how we do that, okay, using some Instaclay. This is something we use a lot on away days. So what I'm going to give everyone a piece of this Instaclay, and I want you to just hold it in your hand like that, okay? So we'll start passing that around. Maybe people on this side, you might want to come and get some. Fantastic, there you go. Brilliant, thanks Debbie. Cool, there you go. Ooh. It's wet. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there's one each, definitely. Oh, there you go. Thanks. Thanks. Any more? Oh, there you go. Cool, no worries. Okay, anyone else? You okay? Brilliant. Okay. So, what you're going to do is you're just going to hold in your hand like that. And I want you to think of one thing you'd like to share with everyone else. Okay? And this one thing, try to make it quite physical. Okay? So maybe you're hungry, you're tired, just something you're feeling right now. You need to pee, you're wearing new shoes and they're pinching. Okay, just anything like that, just have a think. Fantastic, has everyone got something? Yeah, everyone's got something. Okay, fantastic. What I want you to do is I want you to hold that thought in your mind, and from now on we're going to call this thought your share. Okay? Can I just check that everyone's got something? Yeah? Everyone's got something. Fantastic. So hold it in your mind. People got their eyes closed, which is really nice. Okay, I want you to hold it in your mind. And I want you to move your share down past your mouth, okay? Down through your neck, into your shoulder, down through your elbow, into your wrist, and finally into your hand. Okay? And then what I want you to do is, not yet, I want you to use your hand to squeeze. I'm just going to simulate what it's going to be like. You're going to squeeze your share into the Instaclay. Okay? Squeeze your share into the Instaclay. So let's do that now. Can everyone squeeze their share into the Instaclay? Fantastic. Has everyone got that? What I want you to do now, don't unclench your hands, okay? I need everyone to just pop their hands. We're going to earth our shares, okay? So you're all just going to pop them on the ground like that. That's it. That's good. And however you're doing it, I want you to just hold it there. Okay? Should start to feel a sensation, maybe in one of your joints, maybe in the backs of your legs, okay, and maybe in your knees. And that's because, I didn't want to tell you before, I didn't want to ruin it, but it's actually because this is a two-way exchange. What you're doing is you're pouring your physicality into your share and turning your share into flesh. And in exchange, the Instaclay in your share is turning you into data, okay? So you're losing your materiality to your share. So the feeling you've got right now, that's the feeling of being on the threshold between flesh and data. So just enjoy that while that lasts, because that's the last time you're going to feel this way. Okay, now when we're ready, I'd like you to unclench your hand and just plop your physical share onto the floor. Okay, now very nice and slowly, let's all stand up. Fantastic. Okay, be really careful not to step back and squash anyone else's share there. I can see some people are in need of Insta wipes. We've got those. I'll get them out in a minute. But just while we're in the moment, what I want us to do is to just survey the scene. Let's see what happened, or what's happened. I can tell you what's happened. It's worked, hasn't it? Our shares have become flesh, and we are no longer, maybe if we step back a little bit more. There we go. I think that makes it clearer. We've turned our shares into flesh, and we are no longer physically there. Okay? We are now immaterial data. All right? Now, what I wasn't expecting, what I wasn't anticipating, was this literally shitty aesthetic you were going to bring to this. We actually need to go upstairs now. We were going to just leave these here, but I don't think we can do that because they look disgusting. It literally looks like you shat on the floor to show where you've been, kind of like a less elegant, like carbon footprint kind of idea. So
Maybe we all need a number 2.
you all needed a number 2. Oh, and that was your share. Yeah, that could have been it. Well, we're gonna work with that idea a bit more, because what I want you to do then is I want you to clear up your share as if it's something you wish you hadn't shared. So you know how to do it. If you just put your hand like this, and I want you to just, I'll just simulate it again. Going to plop into the sack, nice and clean. Okay? Plop into the sack, nice and clean. And then you can tie it or you can do whatever makes you feel comfortable, and we'll take that with us. Okay, brilliant. So, just want to come and get some bags then. Let's everyone get a bag each. There we go. Cool. There we go. Oh, thanks, Debbie. That's great. Brilliant. Okay. If anyone needs a wipe, they're here as well. If you want to get a wipe. And there's a and there's a bag for them as well. Okay, this is the bag for the wipe. Whatever you do, don't put the wipe in the same bag as the share. That's totally disrespectful.
Is that the share?
No, this is just for the wipes. Okay.
So we're holding.
Hold on to your shares. We're going to need those in a second. There you go. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's go upstairs then. So everyone bring those with you. Brilliant. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so stand wherever's good. If you want to come through, yeah, stand here maybe. Cool. Okay. Now, I can feel that some of you are mourning the loss of your physicality now that you've channeled it into your share. So now that you just exist as immaterial data. So I just wanted to just stop off here and just remind you how limiting bodies can be, or maybe our perceptions of bodies, because even shit is gendered, okay? Female shit goes in here and male shit goes in there. But what if you're not cisgendered, okay? What if your assigned sex doesn't match up with the gender you feel yourself to be? Why should the plumbing have to match the plumbing? This is Michael Hughes. Michael Hughes protests with the hashtag #WeNeedToPee, and he takes selfies of himself in female toilets. Okay, he's a transgender man, but under proposed laws in Florida and Texas, these female toilets are the ones that he'd have to use because he's got a vagina and not a penis. Okay, so we're just going to pop this up here in a minute. And then this is Bray Carnes. Okay, she's a transgender woman living in Canada, where gender identity was a human right until Conservative Senator Donald Plett decided that actually maybe that shouldn't be the case, especially not in sex-specific places like public toilets. So this is Bray protesting with the hashtag Plett put me here, while she's in a male toilet, which would be the toilet she'd have to legally use if she's got a penis and not a vagina. So we're actually going to pop these up here. There we go. See if maybe like on the actual letter. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Just as a prompt to remind us that it's not just artists and progressive politicians who are thinking about the way that identity is constructed, particularly in relation to gender and sexuality, but normal people as well. Great. Don't dump your shit here. Please bring it with us as we move up to the upper echelons of our new post-human experience. Okay, let's go. Cool. Yeah, so you're welcome to take a seat if you feel that way inclined. Or stand on this side. Cool. So welcome to this post-human paradise. And this is where we meet Cynthia and Celind. They're just like you. They exist purely as data within this multiple system called SIS. Every now and again they pop up in an embodied form, okay, where they live amongst these disembodied voices or these psychiatric mood charts. Cynthia and Celine have their own personalities, their own interests and emotions, but when they do pop up in an embodied form, they share a body and they share a headspace. Instead of being pathologized as the result of a multiple personality disorder, instead they live here as a kind of representation, I guess, of a healthy multiplicity. Okay? Moving from the human to the post-human, from flesh to data, from the corporeal to the virtual world, allows neurodivergent bodies and personalities to self-articulate and to form their own communities far away from the pathologizing tendencies of hegemonic medical discourses. Okay? And it's within this enlightened environment that I start to feel a bit bad. I start to feel bad about the shares because I feel like I pathologized them before because I said they looked like shit. And as we know, shits are normally flushed away. Even if they hang around, they're flushed away and they're ostracized. Okay? So I was wondering if maybe in this new post-human paradise we might be able to ask our shares, not our shits, our shares to identify afresh. Okay? Can everyone please hold up their shares? That's great, yeah. And when I'm saying share, by the way, you might hear share like the singer, or share like a financial share, or anything. I want us to welcome this diversity, okay? And I want you to allow the distinct personality of your share to shine through. So just hold it up, and I want you to really connect with who your share is, okay? What was the original intent of this share? Let's see, can anyone remember? Can anyone remember their original? Can everyone remember? Yeah, fantastic. What I'd like you to do then, I'd like to see if we can, well, if you can try to form new communities where your shares might be able to self-articulate, self-represent and self-identify, okay, by sharing your shares with each other. So I'm just going to give you 1 or 2 minutes to do that, just to build your own communities by sharing your shares. I know it seems hard, but I'm feeling really good about this, everyone. So just go for it. Just chat, just the people around you, just share your shares. Let's see how we can get, where we can get to. Lovely shares, lovely community. Okay, everyone, time's up. Well done. It seems like you've all formed new communities through your newly self-articulating, self-identifying, self-representing shares. Just coming to it from the outside, as I am, it seems like these communities are far from the normative centre. It really looks like you're taking a stand, you're united against human hegemonic discourse, which tries to project identity onto you. And you know what? You don't look like shit anymore. You look amazing. And because of that, you look so beautiful together. I'd like it, please, if we could move through to the end in your new communities, okay? So just community, if you just want to file through. Let's pop in. Thanks. Cool. Hi everybody, it's me again, LGBTIQ Rights Dave. Oh, I'm so pleased you've all managed to get to the end, to my vision of the near future. Have a look around. You can see we've got these nice strong colours, this one not so much, and then we've got some colours that are just fading into the background, the other four just fading in. And there's lots and lots of room in the middle for you all to join me. Why don't you come a little bit closer? Fantastic. Now, you already know this, but I'm so passionate about how identity is constructed, particularly in relation to gender and sexuality, that I legalised gay marriage in 2014. And now they raise our children and they look after our old people and they make sure they keep the country running. They're better off as well, both morally and through their eligibility to claim marriage tax allowance. They can claim up to £212 a year. And when I think about that and I look at you all in your beautiful communities, in these kind of like joined unions, it just makes me think, you know, who wants to self-articulate, self-identify and self-represent forever when we can do it for you? You know, who wants to be doing your own thing when you can be welcomed back into the mainstream? Let's normalise these unions. Is everyone in their union? Can we just make sure? Okay? Okay. Let's get back in. Okay. Because what we're seeking to do, I want us to normalise these unions. I want to normalise you so that you don't have to articulate for yourselves anymore. You don't have to identify. You don't have to represent. And I've got a great way for you to do that, because in my vision of the near future, I've legalised post-human data marriage. Let's get married! Okay, clearly that's the end, like in every way. But thanks so much, everyone. And if you don't like this vision of a near future, I'd suggest you go to the room that's kind of like next door. There's a really great film by Tsang called A Day in the Life of Bliss, and that chronicles an alternative near future, but one that seems quite scary because it's about surveillance culture, but maybe not as scary as this one. So, thanks so much, everyone. And we're going to be in the bar if you want to.